does is establish a uniform national data privacy rights for Americans.
More protections online for Americans. Two Washington lawmakers are working on an historic data privacy bill.
Plus, another round of spring construction starting today in downtown Spokane. What you need to know to navigate the extra traffic.
A chance of showers is in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow, along with some breezy conditions. But other than that, I'm tracking a really nice warm up for the second half of the week.
And thank you for joining us for KREM News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We begin tonight with a construction alert for you. Another round of spring construction.
So starting today, the intersection of Boone Avenue and Washington Street will be closed for the next 2 weeks. This is right by the new One Spokane Stadium and the podium. We want to bring you a live look at the backups right now at this hour. Our crew is heading that direction northbound on Washington at this hour. Doesn't look all that bad.
We know here that by the 5 o'clock hour, it's probably just going to get started, and a lot of people taking that route to get to and from work. So just plan on delays, or if you can, avoid that area altogether. In the meantime, city crews are working to replace water and sewer lines that are more than 100 years old in that area. So all lanes on Washington will be closed between North River Drive and Maxwell. Drivers will need to find some detours. The city is recommending using Division, Monroe, and the Maple Ash corridor for any north to south travel. As far as east and west travel, they're advising Maxwell. If you are attending any events at the venues in that area, you're urged to plan ahead and allow for extra time.
Those traffic delays are also slowing down donations for UGM Thrift Shop on Boone.
We are noticing that sometimes, especially in our later afternoons when we see people come in after work, we are seeing that crowd not come in as often due to the construction.
Crews will also be focusing on upgrades to the stormwater system during this project.
Spokane is getting a new fire chief. Julie Oberg is set to become the first female chief in the history of the Spokane Fire Department. Oberg has been serving as the interim chief already for the last several months after former chief Brian Schaefer announced his retirement. Originally, she said she didn't want the chief job, but when I spoke with Oberg today, she told me it's the team that helped change her mind. And she said being the first female chief in Spokane really isn't her focus.
So, as firefighters, you know, our duty is to serve and protect, and it's about the skills, the experience that we bring. So I really want the focus, while I'm proud and I'm very honored to represent women in the fire service, I want the focus not to be on the gender, but on the important work that we have ahead of us. I don't think the gender should be a barrier, but I also don't think it should be a focus. So I think it's
Oberg was appointed by Mayor Lisa Brown, but it still has to be confirmed by Spokane City Council. And if you would like to hear more from our conversation today, make sure to join us tonight on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11.
In tonight's other top headlines, Chad Daybell's trial continues this week. He is the Idaho man charged with the deaths of his first wife and two of his current wife's children. Their mother, Lori Vallow, was convicted of their murders last spring. Today, the court announced a jury has been selected, 10 men and 8 women. They were chosen out of the 57-person jury pool that was selected last week. This morning, the state and defense worked to issue peremptory strikes, and that's where they worked to whittle down the jury pool to that 18 number, 12 jurors and 6 alternates. Each side has 16 weeks where they could eliminate potential jurors until they got to 18. After the jury was selected, Larry Woodcock, the grandfather of J.J. Vallow, talked about the differences there will be with Chad's trial compared to Lori's.
It's going to be tough, but I don't anticipate it being as rigorous, emotionally involved as it was with Lori's trial. So I'm hoping that that comes to fruition with us.
Opening statements are scheduled for Wednesday. The trial is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks.
The inmate who escaped from custody after being treated for self-inflicted wounds at a Boise hospital last month was back in court today. Skylar Mead is charged with escape by a convicted felon. This afternoon, he was in an Ada County courtroom in the Boise area for his preliminary hearing. The judge heard from 3 witnesses, including a detective with the Boise Police Department. He spoke about what he saw on security camera footage when Mead and an accomplice, later identified as Nicholas Umfenauer, ambushed officers and then got away.
The escort of Mr. Mead into the ambulance bay continues until they reach I guess you could say a prison transport van. Upon reaching the passenger side of the van, the 3 guards and Mr. Mead are approached by another individual who appears to point an object at them and shoot and fire rounds at them and ultimately Mr. Mead and this individual flee the area together.
So he is now being held on a $2 million bond. His arraignment is set for April 17th. Umfenauer was scheduled for his preliminary hearing as well. However, that was moved to April 29th.
All right, taking a break from the headlines to talk weather now. Sunshine returned to the inland northwest along with some clouds for those trying to see that solar eclipse today.
Yes, I hope you got at least a glimpse. We want to get right to our meteorologist, Michelle Boss, with more on how the week is shaping up. Michelle?
Yeah, we certainly had a lot more breaks in the clouds this morning. It's overcast across the inland northwest right now. We have the potential to see a few showers a little bit later tonight. As you take a look at satellite and radar right now, it may look like some wet weather is already upon us, but our radar is tuned into sensitive mode right now. So I think most of that is not reaching the ground. It just checked Deer Park's observations, and they haven't even seen any wet weather, and it looks like they should be getting some rain right now, but mostly just cloud cover, at least for now. Temperature-wise, a little bit cooler than average today, but that'll be changing later this week. We're 52 in Spokane. It'll probably end up being our high for today, but it's only in the upper 40s in Deer Park, Sandpoint, and Coeur d'Alene, only 46 in Moscow. A little bit warmer out across central Washington, where they've seen a little bit more sunshine today. All right, here's a look at the short-term forecast. Clouds are certainly sticking around this evening. We have a chance of showers overnight and tomorrow, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of wet weather. We will see some breezy conditions, gust up to 30 miles per hour, but very mild overnight, lows down only in the 40s. We should be in the upper 50s tomorrow. A lot more sunshine on Wednesday, 58 degrees, and the 60s return on Thursday.
All right, sounds good, Michelle. Thank you very much. Well, today was the big day for millions of Americans who experienced the solar eclipse. Take a look at what totality looked like in different parts of the country and in Mexico.
A solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, casting a shadow that then blocks out the light from the sun. The path of totality started on Mexico's Pacific coast and then moved northeast through more than a dozen states. And although Spokane wasn't in the path of totality, we still got to see at least a portion of the eclipse, which did bring people to downtown Spokane this morning, including one man who made a custom camera to take it all in.
New equipment to City Hall on an Amazon box, and I just took some gaffer tape, made a little hole with a screwdriver, and made a little hole here with my scissors, and it works quite well. It's worth seeing, and stuff you would normally put in a recycle bin anyway, made a neat camera obscura.
That is former longtime KREM photographer Jeff Bollinger right there.
Very fun.
Well, we have seen lots of great eclipse photos posted online today from people all across the inland northwest. If you have a great photo you want to share, you can text them our way to 509-448-2000.
In the meantime, CBS's Jared Hill is reporting tonight from New York, one of the 15 states in the path of totality.
A moment of awe as the solar eclipse cast darkness over daytime. The Southwest got the first glimpse.
It got dark real quick and lightened up pretty neat.
31 million people live in the path of totality for this once-in-a-generation marvel, where the moon blocks out the sun. Crowds at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway enjoyed the greatest spectacle in the sky.
Even though we knew what to expect, it was just mind-blowing.
In Russellville, Arkansas, more than 350 couples took the celestial cue and tied the knot, sealing it with an eclipse.
It just seemed really fun and something unique.
NASA estimated about 99% of people in the U.S. could see at least a partial eclipse, making this event the ultimate water cooler experience. Even scientists emphasized the social impact.
It's far more about inspiration, awe, and joy for humanity. It's an event that just makes you feel a lot of things.
The name of the viewing game today was cloud cover, with New England having the least of it, making for the best line of sight in America. For 3 or 4 minutes of peace and awe, it's the last total solar eclipse in the continental U.S. until 2044. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.